Welcome to 510 edition of InvestData. 511 of InvestData Trade Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, I'll tell you that the oscillation or called volatility, is also already ongoing in the market, and this is the full trading week of the month of May. And I'll tell you that a lot of characteristic or a lot of influence that the market is experiencing now will determine how far the market will go in the month of May on the international scene. But I can tell you that looking at what is happening globally, we have seen that we see array of macroeconomic data coming from different domains, and these macro data is defining each domain of each market or economy for you to make informed decision as a trader or investor. Don't be carried away with the volatility. The key things that influence market are three major things. One, influence from what? From company performance, which is the earnings we have seen, economic activities, and also liquidity. These are the major things. Economic can be in form of the outcome of the GDP figure, the outcome of NPC meeting, but liquidity level in any market is very, very important. This is a major fundamental of any market. Why the company performance is key, because it determines what on a quarterly basis, because these numbers will come, and when they are healthy, it builds investors confidence to start piling up those stocks where they are seeing companies are posting numbers that are below market expectation. You see investors exiting those positions to where they see there's a kind of a bright future in terms of performance and in terms of also future of the company, looking at what the earning powers of this company at that particular time. Because every number that come, every market company, all of them are talking of what has happened. That's why as you are looking at all these figures, you must not look away from your chart. That's why your tech analysis is very, very key in any market you are trading, or even in any instrument you are involved. That's why you need to look at the market at this hour. I'll tell you that Asia market has slowed down as we speak right away. I ask why did I slow down? As also Trump and China, this so-called tariff for negotiation, is putting a lot of pressure in different markets, as outcome or direction is going up and down, and that market is going to remain in that mode, because it is in decision that come out from these meetings or this negotiation will go a long way to impact one market or the other, and also boost economic direction. As we speak now, fear of recession is everywhere, or the narrative of recession is everywhere in the market across the globe, and that is why you must also pay attention to all this as we speak. If you look at Asia market or Asia stocks, I'll tell you that this time they slowed down. Australia dropped in terms of the weak earnings that also came from one of the Westpac earnings that weighed on that market in that environment. All these are putting pressure on the market as we speak now, as the shares in Australia have also gone down because of the financials that came, and these financials were not looking good. That also put weight on the share market as part of the market in that environment. And that is why you have to invest as a trader or investor. You must understand what is happening in any market. That means the region where you are trading, you must understand what is happening there. In Asia, as we say now, including Japan, China and Hong Kong, South Korea, we see that markets are relatively on holiday as we speak now, leading to what same volume we are seeing in that region as we speak. But I believe that they're also kind of tracking what is happening in US market as we speak. And that is why we are seeing that this slowdown is particularly as a result of what activities in Australia market that weigh down the market as we speak, opening on a cautious note. And investors are also waiting to see what will be the outcome of the crucial Fed meeting that is coming up later this week. That is why I see that market in that environment as we speak is now in the red, as I would say. But because of what most of the markets are closed, and the one that is all because of a missed number, or let me say weak number that fills the market, that hit the market, has also weighed down on that market. That is why we are seeing these activities in there. But like I said earlier, that the implication of US tariff and China is also moving. Also, you can see that data that came from China. You see the impact of this tariff on their monthly data that came on trade. You can assess that the number that came was weak, and also that will tell you that this was also affecting nearly all the market as we speak in the world. And no market is exempted, because this move is also affecting investors toward clarity on where this US stock and China stock are going. other economy might also be kind of taking strategies, but they are looking at when these two big countries, the two largest economy, able to sort it out, and other, there's a way it can also benefit others, and also a way also new economies emerging up in different places because this move is not just for Trump. I believe that it's also creating opportunity for those economic managers or policy makers that are looking forward to ensure that all their unilateral relationship or dialogue are in favor, and also where you give, I give, not just one person taking it. Or I think these are the things that also is coming up now in most of the market. Yes, as we speak now, Singapore market is also in the red, down. Consider the Indian market is also, as we speak, marginally down. And means what the political tension and that with Pakistan in that environment. These are the things that's also weighing down on there. Malaysia stock market also edge up small in the green, 0.2 in the green higher this morning, that environment. But I tell you that as China trade the balance between looking at the purchasing manager index and also it's been awaited, and also consumer price index has been awaited to give more. I believe that on Tuesday we're expected to go next week to see this figure to see how this environment has fared for the month of April, when they call these are things that also guide the market. And before Friday, that of consumer, we see the consumer index on Tuesday, while that of will be before Friday to be released to the market. But I believe that what's driving this oscillation is what is happening in terms of this negotiation table between but if you look at what is happening in Europe, I'll tell you that in all this, Europe has a way of trying to balance, and things are just working out for them. Even though you said that zone they are weak, but things are a bit stable in that environment that you can even plan. Even as crude oil price also comment that we are seeing that it's also impacting activities in Europe very well. Knowing that as we speak now, tell you that Euro stocks are as also in green as we speak, especially the airline stocks in Europe are already all are in green this morning as a result of what oil price dipping, helping them to have access to what to cheaper cost, and that I really worry of fuel, especially A1 fuel for that, and that also also boost kind of return. Knowing that we have seen the fuel price, crude oil price, and also below 70 for a long time now, and that's also our impacted policy on cost because of what these are what also we are saying that and also as OPEC is also planning to further increase output. These are things that yes, it might also impact most economy, even at the face of fear of a recession. Let's see how it's going to work. I believe that in Europe market, we are seeing that most of the stocks there are in green, and also companies results that are coming there are also healthy. These are the things also that is helping that market to continue to remain in green. Even when there's a mixed market, you see that most of the stocks there close in the green. For me, it's a good one. Even as like I said earlier, if oil price is also heading even below $60, I believe that that will also be a plus for them, and that must also help them also to run the economy. And also as China and the US continue, and don't forget that China is also looking for where to also sell their goods. Europe, Africa, I see a lot of opportunity, and that's why also US also having to rethink in all this, because if OPEC, yes, price going to come down. Even when the US is producing, yes, we see that yes, but they have access to cheap funds to operate. But I tell you, that's also weird. Why do that other producing economy also have to double their production, even when the cost of low price is also not to be too good? But I believe that it's a good thing to balance all this, so that also cost of fuel transportation will relatively also drop in most of the economy, which also reflects also on inflation, basket or data. But I believe that this continue up and down in oil price is also not totally bad one, but also tells you that yes, for those economies that depend on oil as a revenue like ours in Nigeria, it might be a threat to world, but I believe that it's a good thing for what for the global economy. So if you see a lower oil price, that also signal a lower energy or energy cost. And for me, that's also a good one. Back to US to see what is happening in US. US as we speak now, the market is also in red right away. I think that all the indices the indices there are also looking southward as we speak. As all eyes are still on what on this trade related headlines with from Trump, and also looking at also what is happening, and also more companies are expected to release their earnings. Also the decision of Fed also this week, later this week. These are things shaping the market. Seeing that also the service activities in US, is due to give us more information of what has been in terms of activities, both production and service sector. That also let's say also an information going on that Warren Buffett, the chairman of this about perhaps the head, no headways, or no, it's also heading to retire and hand over by end of this year to the vice chairman. Also, these are the things. But in oil price have dropped, as we said earlier, because of the group unveiling plans to increase output in this in the months to come. These are the things that also shaping that market in that environment. As we speak now, I can tell you that S&P, all of them are also in the red as we speak now. Down, I believe that the Trump statements on trade talks, with China and focus on, on the all this slated corporate action and CBN and their central bank announcement this week. All these are things driving volatility and sentiment in that. But as we speak at this hour, Dan June is also down by almost 0.7%, S&P, 0.8%, and Nasdaq is also down by what 0.8. These are the major averages or index that also will try to guide you on what to do. But I believe that all eyes to see how the average growth of data that we are going to expect, especially we are seeing most of the missed macroeconomic data from US. The economy is also sinking. Kind of the first quarter GDP, is not. Let's likely see how it's going to reflect the impact of also tariff and also such an import and imports. Also, all this going to show on these data that are coming. But tell you that China remain an economy that you cannot ignore in US because most of the things being produced there, even at with cheaper price, selling is from there. But I believe that as we're seeing all this macroeconomic data, that will also inform the kind of rate decision that Fed will be taking. That's why looking at inflation, GDP, all these are very important figures of Fed are looking. Knowing that at this also week, we expect to see a lot of central banks of the world having their work between this week and next week. Their policy meeting was expected to see that of Fed, that of Bank of England, and others. Meeting also to make the decision. And I believe that what is happening globally in form, and also as all eyes are still on more earnings. Okay, looking forward to see the what called the service reputation managers forward for the month of April, so that you give information on how the economy and also the supply side of the economy and also how activities in that regard are also affected business in US. But I told you earlier that Warren Buffett stepping aside in his company also that is a big conglomerate, but I believe that the vice chairman at Ambrose is also capable of succeeding him, and we expect to see continuity in what we experienced in that company. For those that are looking at their first quarter, GDP for Western State Oil Company that also lost about 14% dip in their operating earnings. That's also the previous year. That also sent a signal, but let's wait and see. I'll tell you that this fire brigade and also up and down talk of Trump and possible China trade trade talks is also influencing. Well, I believe that the chairman, the president of US and Trump also to discuss and run it up so that the world economy will have a direction. But the slump in oil price, I told you, as a result of what the move back to what to high production. Or I can see where it look like and where the price is going. A cheaper price is a good thing for the global economy. Going to Africa, Africa was seeing a mixed market in Africa. Most of the Africa market are in green, only few are those down. But I tell you that NGX is part of those African market that is in green now. But I believe that as we are seeing, the position taken in terms of buying and people selling, we know that people are taking advantage of the impressive earnings that the market has kind of seen so far to position their portfolio. That's why I'll say that in any market, earnings count, and no one can play this market without looking at your fundamental. And your fundamental is what it is earnings, and how does earnings influence price? Because this is the only most consistent thing that we know that come every 3 months to the market. It gives investors or trader or market player insight of where they are putting their money, because we trade stocks, we trade their price, we trade the performance of this company. That's why you must pay attention to them. For any successful trader to hold a company for 4 years, 5 years, is because that company is doing well. That's why you don't play with earnings anytime, any day, either any season or the company end. You don't play, because at that particular time it's telling you the health of your company, where you have put your money. The company healthy or not, you need to pay attention to that. Like now we have seen companies in Nigeria here that have kind of chalked out a good impressive number. How is it going to play out? We are seeing stronger and healthy earnings season in Nigeria, then should we be selling in May? But I told you one of the gathering that yes, sell in May in Nigeria has been on a low gauge because we have more than position taken in May than offloaded in May. But knowing that also we witness almost pullback in the month of March, and we're seeing a flat market in April. Then that most of the stocks are still relatively undervalued. That means we're likely to see May an uptrend again this year. After I've told you earlier that we have out of 27 years, 18 years was in green for the month of May. Only 9 years was seeing a pullback or a red market. For me, this I think also is it the fear, the narrative of recession across the globe? Is it a concern to you? But here in Nigeria, we are also expecting that, like I told you earlier, we have seen our Q1 number now. It's a pointer that we're going to see a positive word, a positive Q1 GDP for 2020. And also, if you go back and look at the potential merger that was released recently by Stanbic IBTC, yes, you can see that our economic activities, yes, even though there was a little slide from 54.0 in March to 54.2, very marginal that was still right above 50, which is also good for them. I mean, the economic activities is still very, very active. For me, it's a good one. Also, on the average for 20, on the average, we have seen that the economy has recorded 52.81 point from 2014 to also the year 2025. Yeah, 2025 for me it's a good one, and also saw that the all-time high in terms of production manager for Nigeria was the 59.10 point, and that was also in May of 2018, and also the lowest also was when we were partnering with the same COVID-19 in 2020, that's April, it recorded 37.10 point for April 2020. This tells you that we are still in other network. That's why I believe that we're going to see a positive word macroeconomic data, especially GDP, and also we expect that the inflation figure, which also going to guide the policy meeting that's coming up on the 9th and 20th of this month, that we expect to see. That's why I said today we're looking at outstanding earnings ahead of policy meeting comes May 19 and 20, and which are those companies. Like I said earlier, that earning counts, you must pay attention to this earnings. And before we look at this earnings, let's look at what is the market situation at the market data as we speak. If you look at the market data, say that we're seeing that market is in green, but only we're having a flat market breadth. Yes, market is up, reading 106,552.20. That's representing almost 0.5% in the green. For me, it's a good one for any market to see that kind of gain. But market is flat. We're having 20 losers and 20 gainers as we speak, up by 509.63 points, representing 0.50, as I've said earlier, or 0.48, which is 0.5. Then for me, it's a good one for the market. If you look at the top gainers, this I'll tell you, that's why we're going to look at earnings, like I just said. You can see that the market is really reflecting or kind of reacting to these earnings and positioning, knowing that there's value in this company. Since every investment again the future, the more you came in earlier, the better. We are seeing that yes, the better glass is leading this morning above 100, trading at 120 naira 75 kobo, and Gabri is following by 9.87% the green. Cavaton is doing 9.77, trading at 2 naira 92 kobo. You can see Guinea Insurance up by 9.38%. Arade is up by 6.7, trading at 478. On the other side, which is on the loser side, we're seeing that Regency Insurance is also leading. But we're seeing a Mayor, a paint company also full. I was saying Mutual Benefit, Homatech, and these are the stocks that are leading, and MC, these are the top losers right away as we speak in the market. Like I said, the market breadth remain flat 2020 as we speak. But yes, like I go back to what the topic of today, earnings count in any market condition. And that is why you must pay attention to these earnings, whether it's the quarterly earnings or full year. They give you different information in preparing you on what is going to happen in that company in that correct financial year. Seeing the first quarter numbers, and those are also looking forward to see the March account between now and end of June tells you that investors are looking at where will I put money. Are these numbers are revealing value and potentials of this company? Yes, but why are they very, very important? No, help me to know where the company is heading to. And also it review the strategy of what of the management of that company and also the nature of their service. And an environment where we are seeing that most of the figures are released so far is above the inflation rate of the economy, is that those companies are really ahead of inflation. And therefore, that there's a pointer that yes, these companies are doing well. And don't forget that as we speak, the headwinds in the economy is still there. Only that the managers here are navigating and also taking advantage of it to plan and also achieving. That means anytime we see a reversal, and now that we're saying that OPEC price, oil price, on the international market is below, the benchmark for this year code. And also, the World Bank is already forecasting that yes, we need to be cost efficient. It is not done on the policy managers in Nigeria, on their economic managers. As I've said earlier, seeing that our policy manager remain flat or slide down a little, is a pointer that we need to make the economy active by providing cheaper funds. Yes, this is not the time to be targeting foreign investors. But that every economy managers or policy are looking inward to see how they can put their economy in order. If our managers here and policy makers here, both the monetary and physical, are looking of trying to plead, they trying to please the outsiders, the foreign investor, and put their own economy at danger or at a risk, it's left for them. But I believe that they tend to rethink. And also that we're seeing that some structural adjustment in the economy should also be factored into their decision, especially come May 19 and 20 for the MPC. Why for the physical authority? This time for them to to kind of up their game in terms of policies, either tax holiday for companies on or also let me know that insecurity is in Nigeria. If you have security, investment both locally and international will be encouraged. Because nobody want to put his money where there is what insecurity. That is why you need to also play your game. Because if you want to drive the economy, you want to make use of all this arable land that was seen all over Nigeria, that because of fear of insecurity, banditry, and all, people cannot go to the farm. People cannot even go do commercial farming. All these things are things we need to make sure that we take advantage of nature that God has given us to go into farming. That we can start exporting goods, especially in this Africa. This have this free children Africa we're having. It's a plus for any African country that know how to position itself and stay ahead of others. I think it's a plus for Nigeria if we can look inward and do that. Because today I was watching one film just only in Delta State. I see lands everywhere for the fear of insecurity, fear of the of banditry, fear of the falling in the bush. Or we need to also look at this and address this issue and let people go back to the farm. It will engage young graduates that are not occupied now. A lot of things will bring mechanized farming that will change the whole of that thing. That is a sector that government should look at and also encourage those that are also want to invest in Nigeria by giving us security and that will also allow them to come into the economy to invest. Yes, back to our earnings. We are looking at, I was saying the outstanding earnings so far, it came from different sectors. Like I said, in every sector, there's always a leader and a lagger. Who are you seeing in that position? The numbers will also help you to know where they are going. Even the ones that are priced are high, their number might not be as impressive for those that are low prices but have good potential. Somebody sent me just a graph of looking at what is the gross earnings for Steplat about almost 1.2 or 1.3 trillion and the profit of about 200 and something billion. And if you put that of another just telling me about another have about 190 almost 200 billion for first quarter, about 199, and also was saying also a profit after that about 101. And I tell the person who is more efficient. Look at your profit margin. You can see that another is more efficient, even at the price. But not that the two are not doing well. Who is the leader in the industry? The leader is what is Steplat in terms of price, in terms of number now. But the second one, which is also in that was also in that, not a leader to speak now, but has value, is another. It depends what you are seeing. That's why you must know that earnings count in the line and also a guide to make what your informed investment decision. Then, as I said, this one want to point out those companies that their numbers are standing in the market. And also, as we are pointing out, you have to pay attention to which industry or sector where they are. That will also help you because not that just knowing this the best company, you go and look at your technical analysis to see if this company are the what we call it the value area between the resistance and the support level, or we're looking at to see are they trading at over overbought region? Are they trading at what? At oversold region? These numbers you are seeing and this technical analysis I just mentioned now will help you to know what to do. If you are seeing the number that I press you go and check, are they within the value area? Which I said the value area between the support level and resistance level. Then also you can check this company has already result. Are they at their overbought region or oversold region? It will also help you to make one region, because I tell you that every number we're seeing talking about the past. Already was looking at first quarter result. We're already today is what is the first day of the month of May. We're looking at the result that ended March 31st, 2025. Can see that 2 months already back. That means what for you to know exactly what is the market saying about that number that are coming now. That's why you must pay attention to what on technical analysis. You must know what, for example, here is the first resistance here, there's another support level. In between here and here is called the value level. And also if you want to look at the overbought region, you can quickly let me call RSI or money flow. And also you to read your word, your overbought. I'm just trying to make things easier and faster for us. Let's take here, then look at the RSI. Also, anyone you want to use the one I can use money flow, I can use RSI, but most time people prefer to use RSI. But to see whether the markets are overbought and over, once you're able to know, you know when to plug in at the right time so that you not enter the market at the time that the market is also turning down. You need to enter the market, also the market is also growing. Yes, as we are seeing these numbers, like I mentioned earlier, looking at the value area between this resistance and this here, just like here now, you can see that from here to here, the resistance level, you can see that here, now the market is breaking out this one. From here to here, it's a place that you can trade in and out. With those here, you straight gone down. If here become what we call a consolidation stage, when you draw a line here to here, that means you can do up and here. But now, market is set to break out this resistance level here, as I said there. That's also will give us a new trend. Now the market has crossed also the 106 mark again after it has come below it, but consider it also has crossed it. For me, it's a good one for the market. But you must understand is that as you are looking at companies' number, even if they are coming with a standard number, you need to know what state or their what level, what is their technical view or technical position to know whether they are within the value area or what within overbought or oversold region. And for those companies that yes, are really release a standard number in the market because of our time, are one after from the consumer goods and all go together, you can later put them in the same category. One is Nigeria Brewery, Guinea Insurance, UBA, WAPCO, Keja Hotel, NEM Insurance, Aradel, Fixing Healthcare, Cadbury, Unilever, Seplat, Dangote Cement. Yes, out of Africa Prudential is because they've not factored in their recent work for one. The number look good, but immediately after that go to dilute their earnings. And that also NASCOM, so a good number from NASCOM. Transpower, from Boa Cement, Boa Food, also Eternal Oil, Okomu, Presco, VFD Group, Vitafoam, Zenith Bank, Fidelity, Access Corp, UPDC, Wima Bank, WAPCO, NGX Group, CWG, NACO, Better Paint, and also Better Glass. These are the ones that I see that are outstanding. Not that others are not good, but these are the ones that are. Then what we do at this point is our first quarter number that we are seeing now. Then go and check where is the position of this company. That's why I mentioned that you must factor into what your technical input to see where these companies are standing on their. For example, now then look at a stock like CWG. Let's see where is it standing in technically. So that's why I said I want to discuss this stock today. After that, if you look at CWG, you now come and pay attention to see where is the company standing. Fine, you can see that this is where the peak of the company before in terms of price performance. If you draw this line here, I see that here is the peak. But as of today now, looking at, I see that it has broken out to where it is now. That tested 11:15 this morning. Okay, now you can see that it's telling us that it's doing what? It's doing a 10:50. That means the profit taking. And also when you see a stock that is trending up here, you see sellers after the seller put it down, it's also a sign of weakness until tomorrow confirm or the market close that way it will whether it will go up. But a good move for the stock this morning as high as 11:15 before pulling back. Yes, you can see that volume also came out, good one, good volume. You can see that money flow is also reading, that this stock is at good one for the entering in. But if you look at your RSI that this stock is already at bought region. But I believe that because of the result, there is still that this stock will go high. And you can see that where it has gone to overbought region, it came down. You can see it here for the first time, it came down. They tried to come up again to this level, but it didn't come up much. This thing, it came as low as it start coming up again, looking at what the strength behind the momentum. But I believe that there's still power here, but you have to watch. This pullback we're seeing here is just a sign that yes, it's a good stock. Numbers are good. You cannot wait to see whether you can pick around the 10.50 before it moves. But anything below 12 naira is a good buy on this stock. You're paying attention. You can see that from here to here, I've shown you one on the down. Here is another support level that you can pay attention. Look at it here. This resistance here at non support. Now again, we take it here down here. You can see at this point. You can see that this point, you can see is what we call a consolidation stage. It gets here, it comes down, but didn't touch here. Within the inner side trend here, it touched here, it came down. But within this zone, before this recent breakout here, this is called the value area. Between here, resistance and support level is called the value area of the stock. Then also, when you see, let's take example of another stock now. That let's see what is happening in Wando. Can now give you an idea. Even I didn't mention one I want to say where you can see oversold, and also when you see oversold at a company, you look at some information. Look at this stock that have been coming down. Look at it. Even when you try to kind of side trend at this point, look at the money flow. Money flow is coming down. Also look at the RSI. RSI said anything that is below 40 or 30 is also oversold. You can see that it started going there where it become attractive for you to buy. But now, if a number comes now at this point, we'll see, he said, the results will be in the market between now and end of May. And the reason why I see that the number is good, that's that it will become more attractive for you to buy because it's already at sold region. That will now make the price to go up. You must pay attention to see where the stock is before you jump in. Yes, let's look at the life of Wima Bank now. Let's take Wima Bank as an example. I want to also share the numbers are not bad. You can also see, look at also your RSI. RSI has gone as high at the point that it touched, that's almost over both region. That's almost 85. I think that anything above 70 signal. But why is the moment you can still go up? But for those that are smart, you see that that it has started coming down now. But once it crosses this 50 and comes to around this 40 or below 40, that's a good time. That's why you're looking at overbought because their numbers are good. And don't forget, already in May, before we know that the month of May, that we're talking about Q2 number, and the trend was seen in Wima Bank. We're going to see a better number in their Q2 that will also further push the price up. You can see that even though they try to resist decline, looking at this chart here, the price go down, it's going to go up. It's possible that as from tomorrow, you must see an up trend because the pullback of the last of Friday, today night, they try to win that ball. The stock is resisting decline. Even when it touched also below almost 12 naira, because now it's back to what 12 naira 90 kobo. These are the things that you should watch when you are trading in a stock. It's very, very important. On this note, I will say thank you. See you on Wednesday. Enjoy your trading day. Bye.